What's up, dude? Mr. Cales, how you doing,
Hey,
sir?
man. No, I'm just I'm still jamming out to the
To
intro
the
music,
beats.
man. I love that intro.
That beat, yeah, that's a sick beat, man. It's called Victory, man. That's exactly what it is. Speaking of victory, that's what the Bears did this weekend, baby. Woo! Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah, preseason champions.
Yeah, man. Preseason champs, man. That's what we are. It's exciting, man. I don't think I've ever been this excited for this team in quite some time, man. It's been a while. So looking forward to it, man. Well, man, we got a lot to talk about, man. We had a little bit of NFL preseason action, and man, it's I'm starting to open my eyes, man. A lot of you know how it goes, man. People get a little excited about preseason, but these rookie quarterbacks really showed out, man. I mean, they did. These rookie quarterbacks have taken charge, man. They have impressed me to none other. I mean, look, you've got Mac Jones from New England, right? Battling out with Cam Newton. And you got Trey Lance in San Francisco, which I thought for sure Trey Lance was going to be a bust. Like, why would they move up to pick Trey Lance? I think San Francisco went to third, pick Trey Lance over Justin Fields. But Trey Lance, man, looked like he did pretty well in his debut. Jordan Love for the Green Bay Packers. He's not a rookie, but he is showing some skills right behind Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, that whole Green Bay debacle. And then my boy Justin Fields showed out big time, man. Showed out big time. And then Zach Wilson looked pretty good, man. But I want to talk about this, man. I want to talk to these quarterbacks and talk about these preseason games because, I know, you can't really tell what's going on with each team, but we'll start with Washington and New England. New England winds up winning 22-13. New England's, offense looked pretty good, a lot better than what it did last year, but Mac Jones took control of that game. Washington's defense, their starters didn't play, but the time that they did play, man, I think Washington's going to be a top 5 defense. What do you think, man?
If they're not the number one defense by the end of the season, I'd be surprised at that. The defense is going to become the identity of this team, and when a defense starts playing like that, and the defense had to win some games for them last year, and I said that the defense is going to win games for them this year, and so they're going to start carrying that. They're going to start saying that's who we are, and don't give these guys on the Washington defense any more confidence, or it's going to be nightmares for opposing quarterbacks.
Chase Young stays healthy, he will be the defensive player of the year. Plain and simple, all game. I mean, Absolutely. If he stays healthy all year, he will be the defensive player of the year. You mark that down.
Who plays on the other side of Young? I think they
Montez Sweat.
They said that they are looking to break the tandem sack record for a single season, and I think I heard them say that it was 40 combined. But
that would be ridiculous.
It would be, but you're going to tell these two kids that they aren't going to do that they can't do that?
Yeah, I don't know. I doubt it. But I mean, that's a lot of sacks, man. I mean,
okay. Let's say between the two of them, they bring in 30 sacks.
That's still real good.
That's the number one defense.
No doubt. I do have to call out Ron Rivera though. Ron Rivera was going out there, man. I love the guy. He's a Chicago Bear. Love the guy. Love his intensity. Love him as a coach. But he should not be getting involved in this vaccination politics bullcrap, man. Just keep your words to yourself, man. He kind of went after some folks about their vaccinations and stuff like that, man. Look, man, play football, dude. Yeah, and then Mike Florio gets up there and starts writing an article about we need NFL coaches to lead the drive for vaccinations. They're freaking NFL coaches. What do they know about science like this? Give me a break, man.
That it comes from the idea that is if there is a COVID outbreak within a team, forfeit the game check. So that should be something that the player.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with some guy who's on an oil field out in Kansas trying to make a living for his family?
That's well, hey,
that means nothing.
What if his team has an outbreak and they don't have a game to watch? He doesn't have a game to watch this weekend. He doesn't get to, and that one loss in a division. Let's say there's a Packers outbreak. Packers missed 2 games.
Yeah,
And
but if you read his comments, it was geared toward the more conservative crowd. I mean, it was very political, and I think they just need to stay away from that. You know what I mean? Like we're going to stay away from all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. We don't want to do that here. We want to, and so that's why I said that. I think that it has to do with they want to stay on the field. You don't want to you don't want to not take the field and get credited with a loss.
Yeah.
So teams that Washington's looking to make the playoffs and make a run this year. So a loss that they didn't deserve.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick looks like he's going to be QB1. Heineke's going to be probably his backup. It could flip-flop, but it looks like Fitzpatrick's going to take control of that. Josh Allen is still a QB on that team. Josh Allen's in the 3rd position there, man. I don't know, man. Washington needs to figure out the quarterback situation. They got an okay offensive line. They're off. I mean, look, they've got Terry McLaurin on the outside. Decent. They got Logan Thomas on as a tight end. A decent offense, but man, I don't think they're going to be able to score enough points. To really outgun anybody. I don't think they're going to have to because their defense is so good, but that defense can wear down, man. So Washington's gonna, it's gonna be, I see it's gonna be a maybe 8-9, 9-8 team at best, and it could be well enough to win that East, but who knows, man. But they really didn't show me anything in the preseason that makes me go, oh man, this team's gonna be amazing. The defense maybe, but I don't know. I think they're gonna be a mediocre team until they get their quarterbacks situated, but I don't know, man. But on the other side, New England, Mac Jones, man, he impressed me a little bit.
To be honest with you, I stuck with my long-standing tradition of I am not dealing with watching these preseason games. If you went back to the way of your starters play the first quarter of game 1, 2 quarters of game 2, and 3 quarters of game 3, then by game 3 I'd be watching and to see this. But if you're sitting there in the 4th quarter of these games and watching a guy who's going to be bagging groceries in 2 weeks,
that sounds exciting.
Sitting on the edge of your seat, and you're like, oh man, I can't. I got to see what Dan Smith does here on this 3rd and long. You need help.
You need. Listen, not only that, if you're gambling on preseason games, you've got some serious issues. What's up, Todd Patrick? What's going on, buddy?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
What's going on, man? So, did you have a chance to check out a little bit of little Mac Jones action coming from Alabama over to New England? Did you see him?
Yeah. Mac Jones is he's gonna be a good quarterback for sure. I'm excited. I bet you New England's excited for him.
Yeah, I mean, I think he could be. I don't think he's the heir apparent, but he's going to be a pretty suitable quarterback in running that Josh McDaniels offense in New England, man. I think he's going to be fine. Next game, man, Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. Man. I'll be honest with you, man. This whole Jalen Hurts thing, man. I don't think it's going to work out, man. What do you guys think, man?
I think that's just one Philadelphia problem, but when you start there, you start with your quarterback. It's only going to get worse by Halloween. It is going to be painful to watch some Eagles games, and the area we live in, we're inundated by lots of fans from Philly, the Giants, and Dallas, and those have always been some great games to watch, Washington, Philly. But if you're watching that game end of the season and it's just terrible, I don't want to see a terrible game. I want to see a good game. I love these NFC East games where everybody plays well, but it's Philadelphia's going to be a dumpster fire this year.
It is, man. It is. We just want to say hello to some people. Mark Gimo, Blackbeard. John, what's up, guys? Thanks for joining us tonight, man. We're just sitting here talking some sports, and man, welcome. But yeah, I agree with you, man. This whole Jalen Hurts thing, man. I mean, Todd, you put thumbs down immediately, man. Look, he backed up. We came in after Carson Wentz went down. He won one game, dude. One game after that happened.
Jalen Hurts he was a good college quarterback. Jalen Hurts' game is not going to come over to the NFL. Carson Wentz was the player that they needed to stick with and to work on. If not, they needed to get to draft someone. But I think that the Eagles are going to be that team that nobody cares to watch all year. They're going to be like, oh, by the way, the Eagles score was this, that, and the other. Jalen Hurts is not the answer in Philadelphia. And I think, quite frankly, listen to sports talk radio all week. A lot of the fans in Philly country are pretty upset and quite nervous for this 2021 season.
Yes. And you know what they do? When they start, these freaking Philadelphia fans out there, man, what they start doing, they start bashing other teams. They start bashing other fan bases because their team absolutely freaking sucks, and it's everybody else's fault but their own, man. I'm telling you. And I don't know about this coach that they got, this Sirianni guy. I mean, who the heck is this guy? I mean, he comes from the Colts, supposedly some offensive guru. He talks out of his butt first couple conferences, man. I don't know. I don't like the Eagles. I don't like their team. But
I don't like their fans. I don't like their city. I don't like their cheese steaks. I don't like their state. How much time we got here?
I don't like their bridges. I don't like their taxes.
Yeah.
Everything about it, man.
I don't like their TV shows.
Don't like their traffic.
Right, right. So.
Yeah, everything about it, man. I mean, Philly just going down the road. Their airport sucks too.
The best thing about Philadelphia is getting to the other side of it when driving through.
That's right, exactly.
Whichever side that might be.
Yeah, I mean, it's just terrible. But anyway, and then they played Pittsburgh, man. Pittsburgh actually wound up winning that game. And again, this is preseason. Who really cares? But Pittsburgh actually went out winning that game, man. What do you guys think about Najee Harris, man? Do you think that's going to be the difference maker, taking some pressure off of Ben Roethlisberger?
If Roethlisberger is going to be your quarterback, I don't think you can say we need somebody to take the pressure off of him. Name your starter, go with your starter, and ride him. If something happens, if Roethlisberger starts showing his age and starts showing some wear, then having someone capable to fill those shoes, sure. But that's. I mean, how long have we heard that being in and around Washington? Washington has always had the best backup quarterback ever, and so if you start thinking your backup quarterback's going to be the one to win it for you, then you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah. Blackbeard says, "Hey, Washington ever going to have basically a name, or are they sticking with Washington football team?" I think they're going to go with Washington Warhawks. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do.
You didn't happen to copyright that or anything, did you?
No, I didn't copyright that. I don't know what they're going to be doing, man. I know what their stupid team, their football club, Washington football. I don't know what they're going to do. If I was Dan Snyder, I would just leave it Washington football team and just stick it right up NFL's butt, man.
I would drop the football team. I'd just be Washington. I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I mean,
I think football team is kind of a little hokey. Where you're what are you trying to get the attention of some soccer fans?
Yeah, somewhere? Like you call yourself a football club. Washington football. I mean, whatever, man. I mean, they honestly, Washington, by the time that it's all said and done, a soccer team might have more points than the actual Washington football club or football team. It's all said and done.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So, I don't know, but anyway, Pittsburgh. We talk about Pittsburgh, man. Najee Harris. We're talking about Najee Harris and seeing how that's going to wind up being, man. Zach, what's going on, buddy? Snyder needs to sell Bezos. He will fight and keep the Redskins' name. It would be awful. We don't need Jeff Bezos to own a club. Man, he needs to go just find space, and Bezos just needs to go on down the road, man.
Oh, yeah. If Bezos owned the team, I would pay twice the amount to see any other team than I would pay to see Washington. That's my Amazon philosophy. I will pay twice as much to buy local than I will be to buy from Jeff Bezos.
Yes, correct. Todd, talk to us, man. What about Pittsburgh? You're kind of close to that team.
I hate them. I think Ben Roethlisberger is I think Ben Roethlisberger is deteriorating quickly. You're going to see a lot of short passes just like you did last year. He don't have the arm strength to go downfield. If he does, he's going to be challenged by cornerbacks, DBs. They're going to go out there and dare him to throw the ball. So they're going to stack against the run. I think that you and the screen game, and I think that's the game plan versus Pittsburgh this year. So Najee Harris is going to get the ball a lot. You're going to look for some quick, some tight ends, some quick crosses, curl routes. You're going to see a lot of short to medium routes, and I don't think you're going to get burnt long by Pittsburgh this year. So I think that's the game plan. I think they struggle, and I think they're the worst team in the AFC North this year.
Ooh, wow. Wow, you think the Bengals are going to beat Pittsburgh?
Yes.
Wow. Man, that's dropping some juice right there, man. I don't know. You want to hear a quick Ben Roethlisberger story?
Shoot.
Here's a good one. Ben Roethlisberger obviously plays for Pittsburgh Steelers. There's a very famous country club outside Pittsburgh called Latrobe. Latrobe is the home of Arnold Palmer. Obviously, he started that country club. And, Ben Roethlisberger was there one day, and these kids came up to Ben Roethlisberger. He comes out of the car, and these kids came up to him, saw him in the parking lot, and was like, Mr. Roethlisberger, would you let me have your autograph and take some pictures and all that stuff? And Ben's like, yeah, you just go away, guys. I'm here to enjoy myself, trying to play a round of golf, and I need to go. So I don't have time to do all that stuff. So shoo those kids away. Ben goes out there and plays this round of golf, comes back into the clubhouse, gets ready to go sit down at the bar, and these kids came up to Ben and said, Mr. Roethlisberger, if you don't mind, would you mind signing our autographs and blah, 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 autographs, blah, 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 blah. And Ben's like, look, guys, I'm just trying to enjoy myself. I don't want to sign autographs. I'm sorry, kids. You need to just leave me alone, go away, blah, 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 blah. Well, sitting at the bar was the one and only Arnold Palmer. And he looks over to Ben Roethlisberger and he goes, I think it's time for you to leave, sir. And he goes, what? Ben goes, Mr. Palmer, excuse me, what did I do? He goes, those kids that you just shoot away were my great grandkids. I think it's time for you to leave.
Good for him. That's class versus trash.
That's it.
That's
it. That's exactly what happened, man. So
I mean,
I have a buddy that was right there when it happened.
If you're talking about throngs of fans, 20, 30, 50 people all clamoring for your autograph, and you don't want to do it. Okay, a couple of kids who just catch you, have a minute and want that from you. It'd be great to give it to the kid, and I'm not in that position, of course. But if I were just it's a kid, for goodness sake,
man.
You can sign one or two, and then if some other people start catching on, say, hey man, I'm just taking care of the kids.
Yeah, let them have some love. Next game was Tennessee and Atlanta. We're just gonna blow through this game. Look, Tennessee looks great. Alabama's trash. I mean, not Alabama. Atlanta. Alabama's trash too. But Atlanta is trash.
Yeah.
And speaking of Alabama, the one, the only Julio Jones is now on Tennessee, man. Looking good. Looking real good.
We picked him last week, and I picked Tennessee going to the Super Bowl. Maybe a stretch of a pick, yeah. But Tennessee is not bad, and then you give them a piece like that to make their passing game a little more dangerous. And that's a recipe for success in Tennessee.
Might be my lucky day. I just found a $5 bill.
Well, there you go, man. That's what happens when you get on the Greg Nosar show, man. You start becoming rich.
Your compensation is down the street.
Yeah. That's what happens, man.
Todd, we'll let you know at the end of the show where to send that to.
Yeah, that's it, man. But you know what? I mean, Tennessee, I'm not Ryan Tannehill, great quarterback, good quarterback, but I don't think he's enough to overcome like a Patrick Mahomes or anything like that, man. That's just
no. He's efficient. He's like you remember when Joe Flacco led the Baltimore to the championship?
You mean Trent Dilfer Part 2?
That's exactly what Tannehill is going to give you. He's going to give you that type of performance. He's going to give you a chance to win, and he's going to protect the ball. So,
Yep.
Ryan Tannehill is definitely a plus on a team, but he's not anybody that's going to beat a team, really.
No question. Next game was Buffalo and Detroit. Buffalo, Josh Allen just signed a $150 million guaranteed contract for Buffalo Bills, man, the most in the NFL history. And the kid deserves it. I think he's again the top 5 quarterback. Proved his worth last year. A lot of people thought he was going to go by the wayside, just another trashy quarterback. But man, this kid has got a gun. He's got great pocket presence. Man, he could run, and he's big and take some hits. Man, I love Josh Allen.
That's Josh Allen's leading the changing of the guard there in the AFC East. I mean, it had to do with Brady leaving. So, but we're at the time, Manning just got inducted to the Hall of Fame, and I mean, Brady can't keep playing forever. So these new young faces, if you spread this talent out across the NFL and balance it out, and let's get some more good games every week. You want the NFL to get bigger than it is right now. Get a dozen good young quarterbacks out there,
and that's coming. That is.
Yeah, I definitely believe so. Yeah,
like we talked about, man. Mac Jones, Trey Lance, Jordan Love, Justin Fields, Zach Wilson. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. The list goes on and on. These quarterbacks are exciting. I'll even put Heineke in there. I mean, what Heineke did with Washington, during the playoffs was absolutely outstanding. So I mean, there's a good Tua Tagovailoa over at Miami. I mean, these are good young quarterbacks coming through.
Joe Burrow, Cincinnati.
Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert. I mean, all these guys. The Chargers.
Lawrence. I mean, like I said, star power is what's driving sports, and it's and the NFL has always been able to replenish these people, and now with the importance put on the quarterback position in the last 5-6 years, you're getting it to be bigger and better, and bigger and better quarterbacks, and more reason to want to tune in every day, every Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, I love the young quarterback play that we see. I really do. Speaking of young quarterbacks, man, we had another game against Dallas in Arizona. Man, I am worried about Dak, guys. I'm worried about Dak. I don't know. I mean, is Dak going to play this year? I mean, I know he's going to play, but is he going to last this year, man? He had to stay back to California, in Oxnard, California, or whatever the heck they're at. And he had to stay back while the team traveled for 2 weeks in a row. And, he wasn't at the Hall of Fame game. He wasn't in Arizona. He just is still trying to nurse the shoulder, man. That is concerning. He just signed a big contract, and now he's got shoulder issues. He had to get another MRI done. Dallas comes out and says, oh, we're doing that for precautionary measures. Nothing's wrong. He's just an MRI machine. Don't worry about it. He's great. Yeah. I mean, they don't put people in MRIs if there's nothing going on. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I don't know, man. And Dallas's defense last year was historically terrible.
Oh,
you're not going to correct that in one offseason.
It didn't. No, it did. I don't think it got a lot better in this offseason. No.
They had some injuries, of course. Their linebacking crew was just decimated. But they're back in there. Sean, what was his name? The linebacker from Dallas.
Van Der Esch.
The guy, he just retired. I can't remember his name, but anyway, he was a good linebacker. But he always had concussions, and so he's out. Van Der Esch is there. I don't know, man. Their secondary is poo-poo, is junk, terrible. So I don't know, man. I think they're gonna get burnt, and Dallas is gonna just wind up being a trash team this year. So I don't know. I don't expect more than 6 games out of Dallas.
I think the NFC East is going to be a race between 2 teams.
Washington and Giants?
Yep. And I agree. And I think that I think that the Giants are still putting it together. I think they're going to have a chance to shine, but I think that Washington defense is is going to carry them. And like you guys were saying before I came on, that defense of Washington has everything on paper that looks like a number one defense, and it would be a disappointment for them to be not top three.
Yeah, I agree. Now, I'll tell you what, a team that I do like is Arizona. I do like what some of the moves that they've made. They brought in some good veteran presence, obviously. They brought they've got Hopkins, obviously the wide receiver star, number one wide receiver in the NFL.
AJ Green.
AJ Green came over. But you know what? AJ Green gets hurt every year. But of course, he was playing for the Bengals, so that's to be expected, man. But he could come back and resurrect his career there on the opposite side.
They said that he's looked great running mid routes. He's been kind of him and DeAndre have been getting along well, and it's a 1-2 punch on a team. That's a dangerous wide receiver core for Kyler Murray.
Yeah, it is. And then on the opposite side of the ball, I mean, he's a little older. But, J.J. Watt comes there, and he's going to be leading that defense as a true leader and presence in the locker room. And, I just like the team. I really do. Kyler Murray, the jury's still out on this guy, man. I can't decide if I like him or not. You know what I mean? I just don't think
he's a little undersized, isn't he?
Oh yeah,
6 and a couple, and I
feel like 5'10", 5'11".
Yeah, he still wants to do a lot with his feet, and there's just a lot of experience in that division, and like you said, bringing in Green, bringing in Watt, that's trying to make a whole out of a bunch of parts. And I don't think in the NFL that works without a true leader somewhere. Tampa can do that. Tampa can sign anybody, but you've got Brady leading that team, who's done it his whole career. Murray's not. He's not the guy to fill that void, fill that spot.
What do you guys think about Cliff Kingsbury as the coach? I mean, do you think that? I mean.
I think I don't know. I mean, I think he's still trying to find his way in the NFL. I think his first year was definitely a struggle. Second year, I mean, last year was pretty well. I mean, managed it pretty well. They were one game away from the playoffs. They actually needed Chicago to lose for Arizona to get in the playoffs. But dude, they didn't make it. And again, Kyler Murray was healthy all year. And still just couldn't put together. Again, I think their defense really let them down. But man, they're in a tough division, man. Let's just be honest. Seattle.
That's
San Francisco. That's a tough division, man. And to be consistent in that division, I think they've helped themselves. I think they're going to compete for the division.
For sure.
Yep, for sure.
I would think you'd be a fool to say otherwise. I mean, they almost made the playoffs last year, and they improved themselves on both sides of the ball with multiple pieces. Their running game is now healthy. Last year, they split between 3 different running backs last year. They got a good tight end. They got a free agent tight end that came in, like AJ Green, JJ Watt. I mean, the team got better, so you would only expect better things from them. And then I think Seattle's going to become a dumpster fire because I haven't talked about them yet, but Russell Wilson already can't stand being there. I mean, I know.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're going to – I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the Seattle, that's a lot of your off-season noise. I think they're going to get those problems corrected when it comes time for the season. They've played like professionals for many years now, and until Wilson gets his way and gets out of there and sees the grass isn't greener, maybe somewhere else, I think he'll come to play on Sunday. He doesn't play Saturdays.
Yeah, I mean, who knows, guys? Let me tell you about the game. I was excited to watch. Obviously, it was Miami versus Chicago. Miami went to Chicago. Had practice with them all week, and man, I tell you, in practice, I'll be honest with you, I was very concerned because Miami's defensive line was blowing the crap out of our offensive line. Our offensive line for Chicago is it's decimated. We just signed 39-year-old Jason Peters from the Philadelphia Eagles, who's been out. He had 8. He only played 8 games last year because of his toe injury. The guy is going to try to lead and anchor our left tackle position and anchor the line. And the reason being they has to do that is because the Bears put all their basically eggs in one basket with this kid, Tevin Jenkins from Oklahoma State. Tevin Jenkins was picked 39th. We traded up to get him. Come to find out, guys, listen to this. The film on this kid is just absolutely amazing. He was a right tackle at Oklahoma State. He comes in, the Bears trying to put him in left tackle. He has a back injury, a lingering back injury, a sprained labrum in his back that he's had since the end of last year. And he gets on the practice field, can't practice, can't play. They put him. They're going to have to put him on a PUP list. They're going to have to. I mean, he cannot play. And, they're trying to figure out still with his back. The Bears say that they knew about this injury from the get-go. They still picked him anyway. Well, guess what? We released our left tackle, Charles Leno. We released him. Gone. See ya. And now they're scrambling to find a left tackle. You cannot start Justin Fields on this offensive line, with this offensive line, and expect this kid to do wonders. Now, Andy Dalton, you can put him out there and he'll get his butt kicked because he's used to it being in Dallas and then the Bengals. But you cannot put this garbage offensive line in front of this great talent we have now and expect this kid to survive the first year. So they went out and got Jason Peters, which, again, is 39 years old. He was a Pro Bowl just 6 years ago. But still, I'm concerned. But with all that being said, Andy Dalton came in, went three series, 0 for 3, punted on every series. Justin Fields comes in. The first 3 series he had was a punt, a fumble, and a punt. That's his Justin Fields, okay? They go to the half. Miami's beating the crap out of them. Not beating the crap out of them, but, I mean, it was not a good showing. It's 13-3 at halftime. And Tua Tagovailoa had an okay game. Actually, he looked pretty decent. Was poised in the pocket, threw some great passes. Marched Miami down the field against a great defense. Looked pretty good. Once Justin Fields came out the second half, it was unbelievable. And I'm telling you, Chicago Twitter has been blowing up ever since. This kid was like 8 of 13, 2 touchdowns and 110 yards. Put up major stats, and I'm telling you, he looked like an absolute NFL quarterback. Didn't let the first couple drives phase him, comes back out. And I know he was going against third and fourth stringers and, guys who drive trash trucks. But at the end of the day, Justin Fields has gotten Chicago excited. I can't wait, man.
Well, let me give you this scenario here, Greg. How would you take this? So, I said to you a couple weeks ago when we were talking about Peyton Manning and Peyton Manning's rookie season, he was sent out to the Wolves. So what if Chicago
1-15?
Yeah. What if Chicago decides, Justin, you're going to lead this team? Don't get yourself killed. It's not going to be great. Things could go. We could have sometimes that look bad, but you're going to lead the team. And so let's say he leads Chicago to a 5-12 season, not even sniffing the playoff.
We give him a pass,
but building onto something, and again, and some time to work on an offensive line around him, put the pieces in. If give the kid the confidence to be an NFL quarterback, and maybe year 2, 500 and contend.
Zach Bowler asked, what do you think about Montgomery having a big year this year? I don't think Montgomery's going to have a big year this year, because here's the deal. Matt Nagy is a pass-hungry coach. And if he's got a tool like Justin Fields to use, he's going to be in spread offense the entire time. He's not going to run the ball. It's tight ends, it's slant receivers, and you got a kid, Darnell Mooney on the outside that runs a 4-2-3. The kid is a freaking light. I mean, he's a Tarik Hill. I mean, for the Bears, this kid is going to show out. You're going to see him against the Rams, and you're going to see him against who's the Rams quarterback? I was blowing
Matt Stafford.
No, cornerback.
Ramsey.
Ramsey, yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah. Jalen Ramsey. You're going to see him one-on-one. They had a little Twitter dispute, by the way. Him and Ramsey, or actually, Mooney just didn't say anything. Ramsey was talking all this trash about Mooney. So anyway, it was fun. But I don't think Montgomery's going to have a good year, man. There's a kid that just came up. He's a rookie from Virginia Tech. His last name's Herbert. Watch out for this kid. He's number 2. And then you have Tarik Cohen that is with the Chicago Bears. They're pretty stacked in the backfield. I think Montgomery will not get the amount of carries that he wants to this year. I just don't think it. I don't think he breaks 1,000 yards.
Well, if Dalton, if Dalton is your quarterback, then
you'll break 1,000 yards
on a running game. But if you go with Fields, go with that mobile and run pass option. I like the idea of that's a Patrick Mahomes kind of style.
Todd,
of play.
Let me ask you a question. Did an Ohio State running back break 1,000 yards this year?
Yes.
They did.
Yes.
I promise you this. They're going to put in an Ohio State type offense here. It's going to be bombs down the field the entire time.
Tight end will get used a lot then, if that's the case. Tight end got used a lot at Ohio State.
Yep. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be an Ohio State spread offense.
The NFL is a passing league. If you're playing fantasy and think your running back's going to run,
I would not. I think Montgomery was a top 5 running back last year in points and in yards. But I caution you, I do not think that's going to happen this year. I think Montgomery is going to be 10th at best because, again, I know who Nagy is. His stupid BU card that he's got, when he says BU, it's pass, punt. That is the Nagy offense. It's pass, punt. That's what we do.
But I really think that the Chicago will be doing themselves, the team, a city, Fields, everybody a disservice if you don't name Fields the quarterback. Give the keys. Give him the keys to the city. Let him go. He's not gonna take you to the playoffs here. But guess what? Neither is Andy Dalton.
No. And I'll tell you what. If they don't start Fields after what we've seen in the offseason and in preseason here, there will be absolute just turmoil in Chicago, and they would want Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy's head. They better start Fields. That's all I can say. He is,
and that may be what you see happen. It may take a new coach next year for Chicago.
Maybe. All right, moving on. I can go on and on about that. But anyway, Denver, Minnesota. I really don't have a lot to say about this game, man. I watched a little bit of it, and I'll be honest with you, I fell asleep. It was that boring. Denver winds up winning 33-6. Dude, Minnesota's terrible. And, I think somebody came on here and start picking Minnesota. Kirk Cousins is a joke. Is a joke of a quarterback. Okay, he's a joke.
He'll still throw for 4,500 yards.
I mean,
but that was a knock on him here in Washington. He played for his stats and didn't play for his team, and it started to play out a little bit in Minnesota, and that may be their undoing. I wanted to go with Minnesota because I think that things are going to be worse in Green Bay than a lot of people.
Mike Zimmer is not a good coach. Mike Zimmer sucks. You know what I mean? He's not a good coach. And, he one thing that Minnesota had going for him until they got a bunch of injuries is their inside the trench game. Like, their offensive defensive lines are stacked. But, Kirk Cousins doesn't even know. I mean, look, his first of all, his team hates him. Okay? If your team hates you, you don't have a chance.
I think that a lot of the same things came out with his time here in Washington.
Diggs,
he was not a great teammate.
Stephon Diggs demanded a trade to Buffalo, and then they traded him to Buffalo. Yeah. Look what he did last year.
I got to stand corrected. Ohio State did not have 1,000-yard rusher last year. Trey Sermon was their leading rusher. He had 8 games, 870 yards. So
I was shocked when you told me that. I was like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, he was the shortened season from last year. They play a full 11, 12 game season. They play. That would have extrapolated to be 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it'd have been a 1,300-yard season is what he was like on pace for, almost 1,400 yards. But I mean, they're able to run. But like back to what you were saying, Minnesota, if they can't run the ball, they have nothing.
Dalvin Cook is great. I mean, I like
Yep.
him. I really do. I mean, he's a bear killer. I mean, he's always done well against us. But I don't know. You cannot survive just on that. I mean, again, I don't think the team is set to win. I don't see the Vikings winning more than 6 games. I think they go 6-11. I really do. But could be. I don't know. I just not impressed with what they did even in the draft. By the way, Minnesota tried to get up and pass the Bears to pick up Justin Fields. How about those apples? How's that make Kirk Cousins feels?
Sounds like the NFC North is just going to be, teams competing to be, what can we do to be worse than our other division mates this year? And it's the mark my words, what's going on in Green Bay? It may sound bad now. It's going to get worse this season.
Yeah,
I just
Green Bay may still very, very well win the division, but it's not going to be a happy team doing it.
Green Bay will not win that division.
Oh, whoa! Who's going to win?
Todd, I'm telling you straight up, man.
The Bears, then, right?
Well, I mean, if we've already said it's not going to be, the Bears are going 5-12, and Green Bay's not going to win, and Minnesota is going to be the worst team in the league.
The Bears will have, listen, the Bears are going to have this division. I'm just telling you straight up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The Bears are going to.
You forgot about Adams and.
Doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter, man. Listen, I'm telling you straight up, dude. The defense in Green Bay has significantly declined. Significantly declined.
It's going to be a high scoring. It's going to be a high scoring league.
I agree. Yeah. Now, look, you can never count out Aaron Rodgers. Here's what I'm saying about this. I think Aaron Rodgers actually gets hurt this year. I don't know why. I'm just saying that, but I'm telling you, like, he's been very, very fortunate. But his offensive line is trash.
Mm-hmm.
Trash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think that he's a good enough quarterback to where he doesn't let his team not compete for a division.
With the turmoil and everything else going on in Green Bay, man, I don't know, dude. I just don't see it, man. I mean,
I think those relationships between him and his teammates are fine. I think the relationship between him and ownership is not. But he is there for his teammates, and his teammates are going to be there for him.
I don't think his relationship is with his coach. I don't.
No, I don't.
After that 4th and 9 kicking a field goal thing that happened in, in the playoffs last year, I think that destroyed the relationship.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that's just I don't know. I think he's always looking over his shoulder. Hey, another game that really could care less about, but I'll tell you, I'll bring up this information, was New Orleans in Baltimore. New Orleans Saints looked awful.
Jameis Winston's garbage.
So bad. Winston throws up 2 interceptions. I thought he got his eyes corrected, dude. I thought he had LASIK, and that was the reason. He throws up 2 interceptions in that game. Baltimore winds up beating them. But Jameis Winston, let's poo-poo, dude.
I'm gonna tell you a player that New Orleans wishes they had back. Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah.
Bridgewater. That's true. Yeah.
Teddy Bridgewater will start this year for shoot. Who's he playing for?
Dallas, isn't it? Isn't he with Dallas?
Did he go?
No. Anyways, Teddy Bridgewater is going to win the starting job where he's at, and he's going to have a great year. And New Orleans fan miss Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah. Is he with? Who's he with now? Cleveland?
My gosh, this is horrible sports talk. We don't know where Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah.
Well, because he's
Bridgewater
basically out of the league, dude. Oh, the Broncos.
No, Panthers. Broncos.
Yeah, he's with the Broncos now. Yep, he's with the Broncos. But yeah, I mean, again, who cares about Teddy Bridgewater? He's not even a starting quarterback. But yeah,
that's New Orleans' loss.
Well, you know what? Here's the problem with New Orleans. Their best wide receiver, Michael Thomas, hates the team.
Oh yeah, he does.
Wait, what's going on there, Todd? I mean, what's the deal? What's his issue?
Michael Thomas wants paid.
Yeah, he wants to get a contract extension. That's not going to happen.
He wants paid, and he doesn't feel like. I think that Michael Thomas is showing himself as a prima donna.
It's the old quarterback, adage, man.
Yep.
You know,
I think that he's like, you know what, we're not gonna be doing much this year. If I'm gonna go out there and put my career on the line, for the New Orleans Saints, then show me the money. If not, Michael Thomas is not a happy player. Michael Thomas ain't gonna do nothing on the field this year. Yeah, I wouldn't draft him in fantasy. I'll tell you that.
No, I wouldn't either, man. I mean, he was out last year, supposed with injuries, and then actually New Orleans actually tried to call him out. They thought he should have played at least the last two games of the year, and they told him, he should have played. He did not play. That really pissed off Sean.
And they were saying that they pushed for that surgery to go through in June that he had just had.
Right.
And that he had delayed that purposefully. To go into the season.
Sean Payton was furious.
Yep, and that's not going to end well. Michael Thomas will not be a New Orleans Saint, I don't think, by the end of the year, but going into 2022, I don't think so.
Yeah, man, I agree. Anyway, that was
it's things like this that your old guard teams, New Orleans Saints, having these issues and not having a backup plan for what happens when Breeze retires. That's what's going to open up the door for as we started at the top of the show, for these young quarterbacks, these young kids to lead their teams. Trevor Lawrence leads Jacksonville to a better record than the Saints. What's everyone going to be talking about? You're going to let these kids get some following and get some wins and get some eyeballs on them, and everybody's going to be forgetting the Saints really, really quickly.
Oh yeah, I think they're already forgotten.
It's already happened in with New England. Do you care anything about New England now that Tom Brady's not there?
No, not really.
not much, but I am curious to see what Mac Jones is, because I think that he's better than a lot of people think.
Yeah.
Would you rather watch a Tampa Bay game with Tom Brady this weekend or a New England game, and maybe you can see some Mac Jones?
Yeah, no, I mean Tampa Bay all day long. I mean,
Tampa Bay all day long.
Watching, and that's something that's a cool little side topic there, Greg. If I can go to it,
yeah.
Cherish this Tom Brady thing, guys. I hate her. I was not a Tom Brady fan,
100%.
But you're literally watching someone that we will talk about with until you die.
You'll be
until
always
your
comparing
children
a quarterback to this guy,
and just cherish the greatness that is Tom Brady, because I never accepted it because I didn't, I wasn't a Tom Brady fan. But when you sit there and think about what you're actually witnessing, you're watching a Michael Jordan in basketball right now.
Yeah.
You're watching Tom Brady, and he's actually still he's decent still. And it's just cherish that these next couple of years.
Here's another guy we should cherish. I'm going to play this video. Did you guys see this, man? This was a great game. But I'm going to show you this. Let me see here. I'm going to show you this. This is fantastic. Did y'all watch this play? Here's a guy we need to cherish. Look at this.
Whiff.
Look at that. Look at that wonderful block by Tim Tebow, man.
He sealed it off. He sealed off his hip.
Look at that, man. And then gets up.
Todd's right. Look at that. Look at the direction he sends 59 and 59. He turns him around, actually.
Watch this, man. Look at this play, man. I mean, it's just brilliant. Oh, boom. And then gets up, hits his own teammate. Oh, that was beautiful.
I know you're making fun of the play, but he sealed the block. He sealed it.
We gotta have a seal here and a seal here.
There was.
I'd have to watch it again to see all the things. What down and distance were they? How many yards did they get? It doesn't have to be a perfect spring. the guy who's after the running back there.
That was the worst block I've ever seen.
No, he had a worse one. He had a whiff in the game, and the dude sacked the quarterback.
Well, there you go.
That can't be the worst block you've ever seen because it actually wasn't a block. It just, he kind of
literally hit his head on somebody else, on the guy's back, and then went up and then busted his head against his own teammate. What is he doing, man? I love Tim Tebow as a guy.
Hey, it was his 34th birthday.
He's learning to play a position is what he's doing. And
they played Cleveland, man, and guys, I'm telling you, I'm not a Trevor Lawrence. I don't believe in Trevor Lawrence, man. I just don't. I'm not a believer. I'm sorry. He was good in college, I think, but I just don't believe that he's going to carry the Jacksonville Jaguars out of the depths of hell to make him a good football team. I just don't see it, man.
I can see them being better. And he's not going to be a guy like I can tell you. If Field starts this year, that Chicago will be contending for a playoff team for a playoff spot next year. But if Lawrence starts for the Jaguars, they won't be contending next year. But give him some time to build. Let him get some his NFL legs under him a little bit. And
they were too close to end zone.
It's not going to be this year. It's not going to be next year. It could be the year after. But I think that Lawrence. I'm not going to say he's going to lead the Jaguars to the Super Bowl or anything like that, but capable.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I do like to pick up Etienne, his teammate from Clemson. I like that running back. Obviously, Jacksonville's has always had a good defense, but Todd, let's get to you, man, about Cleveland, man. Does Cleveland is this I was going to say Johnny Manziel. Holy crap. He reminds me of Johnny Manziel. Oh, my God. But, I mean, is Cleveland going to do some damage, man? I mean, are we going to see Cleveland in the playoffs this year? And, I mean, with that defense, they're going to be fantastic. But I don't know, man. I'm a little concerned about Cleveland.
I don't know why you would be concerned about Cleveland. I'd love to hear why. My only doubt would be Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, that's
and
my
he
issue.
Started to solidify his doubters last year when he game in and game out got better and better. He became more comfortable. The game slowed down for him. He was having more fun playing out there. You could tell that everything was just coming to him. This is my bold prediction of the year. The Cleveland Browns will play in the AFC Championship game.
Wow, dude. Wow. The reason why I'm concerned is because, look, I am not confident with OBJ. Okay? You have Landry on the outside. Okay? But those two, I'm just not believers in. I mean, OBJ is, again, the typical prima donna wide receiver guy that is – he had 2 great years with the Giants, and that's really it. Okay?
So then he thought he was the best receiver that's ever played the game after those 2 years. Yeah,
I'm not a believer. I'm sorry, I'm not a believer. Now, their wide receiver depth goes Odell Beckham Jr., Donovan Peoples-Jones, Ryan Switzer, Dominic Felton, Jarvis Landry, Jamarcus Bradley, Rashad Higgins. That's basically it. They picked up Austin Hooper from Atlanta, but they do have great running backs, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. But, dude, I don't know, man. I just don't see it. I don't think their wide receiver core is good enough, I'm sorry, to get Baker Mayfield to be a top quarterback. I just don't see it.
I mean, when your top 2 are Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry, I mean, you're looking at 2 guys that are 80 plus catches a year.
They're not reliable, dude.
Jarvis Landry is automatic for almost 90 to 100 catches a year.
They have to stay on the field, man. Jarvis Landry, yes. OBJ,
Their defense is going to put them on the field. This will be a top 5 defense this year. Top 6 defense this year. Their defense is solid. Their defense is
and
they're playing they're playing the AFC North. Yeah, it's not going to be a good division this year.
I think they have the best.
That's exactly what I was looking at here. Is their schedule? And here's Houston, the Vikings, Cardinals. They play Cincinnati twice. They've got the Lions in there. There's a lot of winnable games for them, and building off of last year. Let them catch a streak and build some confidence and gel together as a team. You don't have to have the best names on the outsides for Mayfield to be throwing to. You have to have people that believe in him, and he has to believe in them. And I think he's more of a leader than any other quarterback in that division.
Oh man.
I mean, we're kind of overlooking a guy that might be getting paid $150 million a year. That just like Josh Allen, you're totally forgetting about
Lamar Jackson,
Louisville's Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
not forgetting about him at all. Greg, you said Rodgers won't make it through the season. Lamar Jackson.
Well, I think Lamar Jackson is probably going to wind up
season.
contracting COVID for the 5th time this year. If he can stop doing that, man.
Baltimore has a better team. But I think that Mayfield can solidify himself in the eyes of his teammates to be a leader on that level. And Cleveland's a weird city. It's always been. And
Nick Chubb. I mean, we're forgetting about Nick Chubb was a top 5 running back last year.
I said Nick Chubb, man. I do like Nick Chubb. And
Austin Hooper, David Njoku. He's got weapons all day long.
Yeah, dude.
I don't think he has enough. I hate Cleveland. Watch him.
I do hate Cleveland. I don't hate Cleveland. I'm rooting for Cleveland. I just don't think they have enough to maybe make the playoffs as a wild card. I don't see them taking the division. I do. I see Baltimore winning that division.
I don't. If Jackson does not play 17 games this year, which I don't think he. Seeing him, he's got that reckless streak in him that I just don't think is going to last. He's gotten lucky for a few years. I think he's going to run out of luck.
Let me name these defensive stars that maybe just because they're at Cleveland we forgot about: Myles Garrett, Miles Jack, Jadeveon Clowney, Denzel Ward.
Jadeveon Clowney, overrated.
Mm-hmm.
Then they went out and drafted probably the best cornerback in the draft in Greg Newsome, the second out of Northwestern.
100%.
I mean,
their cornerbacks are probably the best in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Cleveland is a team that is not going to be fun to play against. They're a hard-nosed team. They're what AFC North football is all about. They're going to run the ball. They're going to throw short. They're going to grind and grit. And they're going to play in the cold up there. The Browns got everything in the world to cheer for. And if you're a Browns fan, this is why not this year if you're Cleveland Browns?
No, I agree with you, man. I mean, look, the only thing is Cleveland was trying to get rid of Baker Mayfield just a year ago, right?
Yeah,
they tried to get rid of him. Why would they do that, dude? You know, why would they?
Josh Allen's went from a 49% passer to 64% in 1 year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're in the same draft class.
That time and that learning curve.
Freddie Kitchens really hurt him.
What's that?
I mean, Freddie Kitchens really hurt Baker Mayfield. I mean that was a just trash season for them. It was a waste.
That's the NFC North is not going to be a lot of fun to watch, but it
never is.
That AFC
it's the worst
black and blue
you can watch.
Yeah,
it really is. But anyway, all right. Sorry guys, we're gonna be moving.
So my bold prediction. I'll say it again. I think the Cleveland Browns play in the AFC Championship game this year.
Wow. That's I mean that's bold. I mean, I just don't see that, man. I really don't. But I got Buffalo. I got Buffalo, and I'm trying to figure out maybe
Kansas City.
Yeah, Buffalo and Kansas City. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, those are my top three. Those are my top three.
I'm on the Tennessee bandwagon, and I'm going to ride it all year long. I like what Tennessee has going on. I think it's fun. And if you told me I'm going to buy you a ticket to any city for any game, I'm going to Nashville to watch a game. Actually, I'll go to Nashville whether I make it to Nissan. I don't know, but
best running back in the league.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Derrick Henry.
No question. That's not even debatable.
No.
All right. The next one is Christian McCaffrey could be right there with him, but
if he's healthy.
Yeah, if he's healthy. But Cincinnati beat Tampa Bay at Tampa Bay. Cincinnati. I don't know, man. Talk about it, Todd. You're a Cincinnati guy. Talk about
No,
these Bengals.
I mean,
I'll tell you how I feel about them. I'll tell you
Go
how
ahead.
I feel about them. I will tell you how I feel about them. I'm a fan. Their wide receivers are stacked. The quarterback, obviously, a great quarterback if he stays healthy. I am very concerned that they didn't pick up Penny Sewell, which Detroit picked him up to anchor their line. I'm very concerned about their offensive line. This kid got murdered last year. Now, I hear he is absolutely. Can y'all hear that music?
No.
No. My daughter's going home from work, so I don't know, but she's probably not singing. I don't know.
Yeah, so for some reason I'm hearing a bunch of music. I don't understand why, but anyway, but I don't foresee. Joe Burrow and his offensive line is a problem. The offensive line is terrible. The defense is, I don't know, maybe average, but
Maybe average.
Yeah, maybe average
with a good secondary.
Yeah, I just don't know, man. I don't see them. I think they're going to win 5 games, maybe. 5 games is about all I see them win. But
They won 5 last year.
I know, man.
4.
Yeah, I think it was 4. But
in
I just
that,
don't.
In that
I
tough
don't know,
division we were just talking about, that's a stretch.
It is. I mean, I think they can split. I think they can split with Pittsburgh, and maybe steal a game from Cleveland or something like that. I don't know, but Bengals, they got a lot of work to do, man. And I think they made a major mistake not picking up an offensive lineman in the draft.
What do you mean?
In first round.
Oh, okay. I was going to say we drafted 3.
No. First round.
Okay.
Penny Sewell should have been there, man. That should have been their pick.
But we got Jamar Chase, and he could turn out to be the next big thing at wide receiver in the NFL. So, I mean, but you want my take on the Bengals? I think the Bengals are still a couple years away, but I think the Bengals are a fun team. That the offense is going to be fun to watch, and that defense is going to need to be built upon. Solidification of the offensive line, hoping that maybe Riley Reif will come in and be some stopgap fill. We drafted the guy, the guy from Clemson, the left tackle from Clemson, Jackson Carman, and T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, top 3 wide receivers there. Offensive firepower, they're going to be fun. So I think the Bengals are going to say first team to 24 is how the Bengals games are going to go this year. First team to 27, first team to 31. But the offense, I think they've got that on the right pace. Samaje Perine, Joe Mixon in the backfield. Offense is going to be fun to watch. It's the defense that's going to be spotty, just kind of like the Cincinnati Reds. Offense is amazing, and the pitching is where you bite your nails. So
this is true.
Yeah.
This is true. But yeah, man, I tend to agree with you, Todd. I think we're on the same page. I mean, obviously Tampa Bay, we go to them. Tampa Bay is just going to do Tampa Bay things, man. Tampa Bay, I mean, all 22 starters are back with the team. Every single one of them. That is amazing.
Off of a Super Bowl team that last year did not really start gelling or come back together until week 8, week 9?
Yeah. Right about midseason.
The Bears beat Tampa after that game where Tom Brady went to Chicago and took the big L. They came back and did their run, so that kind of fired them up.
Yeah, and that's Tampa and Brady can score 0 points this preseason, and they'll still win 13 games without breaking a sweat next year or in the regular season.
Yeah. You're gonna watch that defense too. Don't be shocked when that defense is a top 5-6 defense this year too, because the way they came together, the way they gelled, Jason Pierre-Paul, and my God, the linebackers that are, I mean, that defense. Yeah, I mean that defense alone could win games for you this year. They could score enough points to win you a game and then hold the other team.
In a division that's not much outside of Tampa.
Antonio Brown is back, signed a 1-year contract. I mean, just loves playing with Tom Brady.
Yeah.
You know,
He
Tom
lives
Brady
with
kinda
him.
kept him in check. And you know what? We haven't seen and heard of any throughout this entire offseason? Antonio Brown getting in trouble. It's a miracle.
He's living with Tom Brady and Giselle. That's why he's
is.
He's literally mentoring his life.
He is. I mean, it's been amazing. I mean, an offseason without hearing
Josh
about
Gordon
Antonio
needs
Brown.
that.
Yes.
If you have the opportunity to play with Tom Brady, you know you're an odds-on favorite to win a Super Bowl, and if that's your goal, then you're going to.
By the way, can we talk about this real quick? Can we talk about this real quick? Can we talk about this real quick? Josh Gordon got in trouble, obviously, for illegally banned substance, which is marijuana. Okay, THC.
That's
okay?
it. He's addicted to it.
Okay, so in most states like Denver and everybody else, THC is now legal. It's no different from drinking alcohol, right? Should the NFL get rid of its THC policy?
Yes. Yes. For many reasons. I don't smoke weed. I don't smoke weed. I don't believe in it.
You go to Denver right now, you get high just from people smoking in stands.
I'm in Denver. I'm in Denver right now.
Well, there you go.
There's a dispensary. There's a dispensary right there. I could literally go over there and sit in the smoke room and get high and just show them my driver's license.
Right.
But I think that it should be lifted because, one, I think that it's going to nationally, and it doesn't matter what it's going to become. I think it's going to be nationally lifted, and it's going to be used for recreational. I think that it has properties in it that are good for maybe some pain that some of these players deal with on an in and out yearly basis. You know how, and we expanded the league to 17 games now this year.
Yep.
So I mean, these players are getting beat up an extra week on the football field, and I don't think that. I mean, there's no performance enhancement that you're going to get out of weed. I mean,
it's actually
for God's
performance
sakes,
enhancement.
for God's sakes, they give you cortisone shots to make your body not recognize the pain that it has, so you can go play. I think that's more performance enhancing or something that they shouldn't use than what marijuana is, in my opinion. If you wanted to have that argument, I think that I could win that one. Yeah, I think that they should definitely lift that.
I'm going to say yes, they should, because that's as a country where we are moving that direction. That it's when people are turning a blind eye at it. It's not my thing, like you said there, Todd. But it's going to have to be something bargained between the league and the union. The league is I mean, the union, I'm sure, would love for the league to come out and straight up say, no, we're not going to do this anymore. But the league, I think, still feels like they have that as a bargaining chip. Hey, we'll give you this, but you got to give us something too. And
here's another thing, Greg, before you chime in. 10 years ago, people said I smoke weed, and you looked at them like, you're breaking the law, like, get away from me. Yeah. It was a negative persona towards that person. Someone smokes pot these days, I'm like, okay, cool, man. It's almost accepted. And before
if
long,
you don't smoke pot, then you're kind of on the outside.
And before long, it's going to be a norm. And here's something, I'll go a step farther. I don't even think it's as bad as drinking. I think drinking is worse. Yeah. Honestly, but that's for another argument too. But I think that it's something that in the collective bargaining agreement, like you said, Sam, needs to be brought to the table. But I think that it won't be this collective bargaining agreement. It may be something that could be the next one in about 3 to 5 years, whenever they have that again.
Yeah, that's one thing. It's good. But I mean, I would have said that the 17 game schedule wasn't going to happen until a new collective bargaining agreement. But there, the league, their network partners, the teams, the players, they're smart to know what they have. And so fans wanted more football, so they got together and figured out a way to bring us more football. Right. This is something let's quit with the black eye of these players getting suspended for smoking pot. We can fix it, and you could see it happen that way even before a collective bargaining agreement.
Yeah, and also think about this: the NFL is a multi-billion-dollar league. With each team, I think they say by the end of next year, if not this year, each team will be the minimum value per team will be $1 million as the projected, worth of each team. NFL is a money-driven league. As you see marijuana become recreationally done, you're going to maybe even see – you don't see cigarette commercials, so I don't know if you're going to see weed commercials on TV or things like that. But you're going to see the NFL embrace the money-making aspect from marijuana and THC and CBD and all these things. And I think that at the end of the day, money is the number one reason why the NFL actually allows this.
But I think the NBA, if I'm not mistaken, I think NBA actually allows it now. I mean, so, I think they were the first to step out as any major organization or sports league to allow, marijuana to be non-testable item. Now, NFL tries to follow more of the Olympic standard. You put anything in your body, like, what we see with the Olympics here, just happened to that lady on the track team that basically got kicked off for having, taken marijuana. But I agree with you. I think there's benefits to it. I can understand a little bit of, the NFL's concern in regards to THC and have it being a performance enhancer. But I think these players do it more for recovery, like you're talking about, Todd. I mean, look, Calvin Johnson retired from the NFL, dude, and was just voted into the Hall of Fame. Okay. He did a podcast with Pat McAfee. I don't know if you've seen it, but dude, he owns a marijuana company. I mean, the first thing he did when he got out of the NFL, he grows weed, man. I mean,
Ricky Williams quit the NFL to smoke pot.
Yeah, and you know what? Ricky Williams was absolutely lambasted because he wanted. Ricky Williams was a head case. Let's just be honest, man.
Oh, he's mentally.
Yeah, but I mean, they lambasted him and black sheeped him because he was taking pot. You know what I mean? So, or he was smoking pot, but.
So look how the times have changed since Ricky Williams did that in 2005 or 2004, whenever that was.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. I think the NFL needs to relax that policy. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, the NFL is so hypocritical on so many different things. It's not even ridiculous. But in my opinion, if especially for rest and recovery and all that stuff, and it's been scientifically proven that it has all those benefits, CBD and all that stuff. I mean, my goodness. A buddy of mine owns a CBD company that basically sells ointments and gels to dogs and cats and everything else. He's a multimillionaire because his pets are taking CBD. He's made this pet product about CBD, man, and these animals are healing up faster than they ever had. But I think I think the NFL needs to relax its marijuana policy. I do. I think it should be.
And as I was saying there, and to something that you mentioned earlier, talking about making money off of it, and I mentioned this too, about the black eye that they can get. It's not about necessarily, you don't have to make money everywhere, but you have to stop where you're losing money from. And it was with they had it with the domestic violence things a few years back, where that they wanted to get out ahead of that and to quit this bad publicity. Publicity is not good publicity if you're the NFL. Other insane political things that we're staying away from, kneeling and whatever else. And it's the NFL does not want this stuff because they do not want to lose the money.
Well, I mean, who'd have thought, Sam, Barry Cassidy and David Eaton would have been the forefront of the marijuana game back when we were kids, man.
Yeah. Well, thankfully it's got its legalization thing because the Eaton's Eagles are not going to be having a good year of it this year.
No, they're just going to have to smoke a toke, man. Yeah. All right, Jets Giants, man, Battle of New York. Zach Wilson was pretty good, man. 6 of 9, 60 yards, very efficient in his debut. Did not cough up, no butt fumbles, none of that stuff, man. Actually did pretty well for the Jets, and the Jets actually wound up winning against the Giants again. It was a snore fest. It was a snore fest game. It was 12-7, but Zach Wilson, the storyline out of that game, man, 6 of 9, 63 yards and a field goal. So talk about it, man. What is this kid going to do?
Put me to sleep. This is
Daniel. By the way, this is Daniel Jones's last year. He's gone for the Giants.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't want to call the Giants terrible, but if Dallas does not live up to what they should be, Dallas should rightly win the East, but they're not because of Dak's problems, his health problems, and so that's going to put the Giants, one more step up. And there's been lots of times that people have said the Giants are bad. This year's going to be terrible for the Giants. And well, hey, the Giants made the playoffs. The Giants should have never beaten the undefeated Patriots in the Super Bowl, but they were there. There's something that the Giants have that they can be. Everybody calls them terrible, and they're just a little bit better than everybody thinks they're going to be. And I think they could be a little bit better than that this year. And especially with a down Dallas and Eagles team in the East here.
Yeah, Saquon Barkley coming back for New York Giants. That's the thing that's going to help them maybe be competitive in some of these games that you wouldn't think they would be. But the Jets, I don't think they've got much going on for them. Zach Wilson's going to be a little spark for them. He's going to be fun to watch. He's going to be like, what if we had this, that, or the other. But when your number one running back last year was Le'Veon Bell and Frank Gore, who played for 99 years, I mean, I don't know how excited can you be as a Jets fan. MetLife Stadium is going to be dull. It's going to be hard for that stadium to see 6 home wins this year between the two teams. I don't know. I just, like I said, in the East, I like Washington and Dallas, and then the AFC North, I don't like anybody but Buffalo. So
I agree.
I don't. That game was basically. Let's see if Zach Wilson can be a spark, and it looks like he's going to be a fun spark. And Robert Saleh, as the new coach and everything, I
love Robert Saleh.
I think he's going to bring a Jet mentality back. That's going to in a couple of years, a couple of draft classes, he's going to set a precedent, and he's going to have a culture there in the Jets where the Jets are going to compete in a couple of years.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're sniffing anything this year. But I think that's an up and coming team that can build. With Zach Wilson, if he can prove himself in the NFL, that could definitely be a team to watch out for in the AFC North to give Buffalo a run for its money maybe in 3 years.
I think I've already called the Jets next year's number one, having next year's number one draft pick. And as you're saying, Todd, give them a couple. Hey, finish last. Pick number one. Maybe steal another number one draft pick from somebody else, and
trade down.
They've got a lot of draft picks
trade
coming.
down. And get, because they already picked their quarterback.
Them in Miami. Yep.
And that's fine. I am not against a rebuild if you want to be honest and do it the right way. And if you do it the right way, that you are definitely capable of making yourself in just a couple of years. The problem is most NFL teams don't want to say this is a rebuild year because there goes the money for the season.
Oh
exactly.
It's a rebuild. Hey, Jets fans, it's a rebuild year this year and next year and the year after. I promise.
I think a true Jet fan understands that, man. They do. But I mean, look, they're crazy.
You have something to be excited about, and Zach Wilson showed you a little bit why.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. I mean, I compare him. He's this year's generation's Jim McMahon, and that's what he is. He's Jim McMahon all the way for me, man.
You said that because of the visor,
the visor, the headband. I mean, the whole thing. He is Jim McMahon all over again. But the only problem is he doesn't have Walter Payton.
So you don't,
guys. We're gonna breeze through these last games. Houston, Green Bay, guys. We all understand that what's going on in Houston. They're a freaking dumpster fire. Yeah. Absolute Deshaun trash. I mean, Deshaun Watson, dude, I don't think he's going to play this year. I think he's done. 22 sexual assault cases. They just opened up a criminal case against him, man. I think he's done.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you as we were talking about. The NFL does not want these things to take away from what's on the play on the field, and he's doing that. And I don't really want to say it's a shame to have a career go down like this because then you're possibly denigrating what could have happened to these women. I wish it wasn't something that had happened, had been had the ability to happen, because I think he was a talented guy, but it's just it's the NFL's not going to let him play. I just don't see it.
I don't know. I'm waiting on why is it taking so long. And the longer it goes, the longer I feel like maybe it's not as bad as it seems like it could be.
Well, I mean, I don't know, man, because I mean, obviously the NFL really can't do anything until the court of law does something, right? I mean, they don't.
Right.
They're not the first that got there, and obviously he's got now. Look, you might get away with one or two of them, but there's 22 court cases going on, man. You're not going to get away from all those. So, you know, the NFL can't act until the courts act, and then, you know, it's going to be drawn out for a long, long time. You know,
of course.
Does Deshaun Watson just go ahead and settle it, you know, with all these women, just, you know, give him money to
Well,
shut
I think
up?
that's what he was trying to do. So he's like, hey, let me go on with my career. I'm about to get paid. Let me give you some money and let's shut this up.
Yeah.
And I think that's what he was trying to do. And I think he had some strong women stand up and say, I'm not going to be bought for something that you should be punished for.
I agree. And I love that stance, and kudos to those women, you know, that are, you know, that had the courage to do so. You know what I mean? And I'm for that 100%. All right. Next one, Kansas City, San Francisco. Guys, I mean, look, you know, this obviously Kansas City star is Patrick Mahomes, but my goodness, Trey Lance, man, looked good. Threw a bomb. And a little touchdown action, man. It looks pretty good.
Yeah. I know that I watched Trey Lance play in that game, and a lot of analysis are saying that he played good. I don't think he did. Without the one bomb for 80 yards, he was 4 of 13 for like 41 yards or something like that. He was late. His progressions were slow. And that's something that with time and getting the timing down for the NFL is going to come.
Yeah.
But I see a lot of reason for concern, actually.
He was sacked 4 times, dude. 4 times.
If you go back and just watch the progression, it was slow. It was very slow. I think there's some major issues with taking Trey Lance. The guy did not play last year at all any college ball. He's not played football in almost 2 years.
Yeah.
I think that's dangerous for them. I see the talent, the leg talent. He's got the arm talent, but he was slow. And when he did make throws, they were breaking on the ball left and right. I know he almost threw a couple of interceptions. But yeah, I mean, he showed you the arm talent there with the 80-yard touchdown. But sorry about that.
35% completion percentage. That's and you know, it's I hear this a lot in sports talk, and I don't want to do it, but here I'm going to do it. You take away his one pass for 80 yards, and he's let's call it 4 for 13 for 48 yards.
Yeah, that's never good. That
48 yards. That's not going to cut it.
Jim Garoppolo's the guy there. And if you're going to win in 49er territory this year or next year, I think Jimmy G's your guy. Trey Lance is a project, and I think he's at least a 2 or 3 year project.
Right.
I know San Francisco fans might be flipping me the bird right now, but I feel very confident in that statement. Jimmy G's going to be the guy that you're going to have to ride because Trey Lance is not ready at all.
Well, dude, another first-round quarterback is on that field. You know who that is? Josh Rosen is on that team.
A guy that was basically cut out of the league from UCLA. And
Josh Rosen went to the Cardinals.
Yeah.
One year in, he gets replaced by Kyler Murray, goes to Miami, goes there for a year, gets replaced by Tua Tagovailoa, and now he's in San Francisco as a third-string quarterback. My goodness.
He'll get cut this year.
Yeah,
depth chart I'm looking at actually has him fourth. And Todd, some you said a minute ago that I'm going to disagree with you on that Lance being a project. He's a couple of years away. No, he's a couple of years till he's out of the league.
I unfortunately feel like this is the draft pick. I agree with you. I feel like he is one of those draft picks.
And there's lots of.
Are you saying he's a Ryan Leaf?
Maybe not that bad.
Not that bad, but he's somebody that a team has picked and said, you know what, we're going to groom this guy for a year or two, and he's going to be there, and you'll see a couple of flashes here or there, but it just never pans out.
He's going to be a Josh Rosen.
John Lynch could lose
his job. Right.
John Lynch could lose his job over that.
To learn from right there on the team.
Yeah. John Lynch could lose his job over that pick. Yeah, they traded up big time to get this kid.
Yeah, and there was, and you had
needed. I don't understand that.
Could you imagine the 49ers with Justin Fields sitting there?
They should have had him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? We thank you for being stupid. It was crazy. I just don't understand. But anyway,
what's the problem with Garoppolo in San Francisco? Why is he like
injury?
Everyone wants to overlook him. I'm sorry,
injuries, 100% injuries.
All right.
Yeah,
ever since he came from the Patriots, he's been injury prone. So.
Yep. All right, moving on, guys. Las Vegas Raiders taking on Seattle. Like we talked about Seattle earlier, man. I'm not a believer in Russell Wilson this year. I'm sorry. I'm just not. I think he's lost the team. He's lost the locker room. I could be wrong, but I love the Raiders, guys. I picked them to win the West. I do. I picked them to win over Kansas City. I love this team. This team is built on speed, and man, they got a ton of it. And I just think what Derek Carr came off his career year with his 101 quarterback rating last year. John Gruden is a great quarterbacks coach. He's a good coach, man. He knows how to take teams to the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. I think Las Vegas will make the playoffs this year. They win the West. I'm just a big fan of it, man, and they've gotten a lot faster. So I love Ruggs. I love what they're doing, but I love the Raiders here, man. I do not like Seattle.
You like the Raiders over the Rams in the AFC West?
The Rams are not in the AFC West. They're in the NFC West.
Or NFC West. That's right. My bad.
It's all right.
Hey guys, on that one, I got fired for that statement. I'm out.
No. It's Kansas City, Denver, and Chargers. I do like the Chargers. I'm not a fan of Denver. Sorry, just not a fan. No, Kansas City, I think they take a step back this year. I really do. I don't think it's everybody wants to put Look. Here's the deal. You give these defensive coaches 2 years of film on Patrick Mahomes, they're going to figure this guy out. They're going to figure him out.
We were talking earlier about Lamar Jackson. I was getting scolded for overlooking Lamar Jackson, and you've got a couple years film on Lamar Jackson. How come nobody's caught up to him? We're not thinking the same thing. Todd, I don't know if you caught it last week. I said that Kansas City will go 17-0 this regular season. No, dude, they lose the first game. Hey, let's root for something interesting to happen this season, and it's
So your bold prediction is a 17-0 Kansas City. My bold prediction is AFC North for for the Browns.
Yeah.
Greg, we're gonna need a bold prediction from you too.
We're leaving Las Vegas here. What Greg was talking about, and Las Vegas is has the ability to compete out there. I don't see the step back that you're seeing in Kansas City. Andy Reid, he's coached for a long time. If it's not going well, he'll change it up. And that offense is built on speed and getting themselves down the field, and Mahomes can do that, and it's going to continue. And it's just the Vegas Kansas City games will be some good games, but it's Vegas isn't quite ready to do it yet.
Oh, I disagree, but yeah, good points though. Good points.
I mean, Las Vegas with Josh Jacobs and wide receiver crew, like you said.
Number one offensive line in the NFL.
Offensive line is very stout. Defense with Mac and guys. I mean, or they don't have Mac anymore either, do they?
No, Mac's with the Bears, buddy.
Mac's with the Bears.
Yeah.
But they have a good linebacker though, and I can't think of his name. But they got a good McLean.
Yes.
But they're solid. I could see that pick, Greg.
Yep.
For out of the AFC West there. So I think it's going to be a stout division. I think the Chargers and Herbert and I like that team too.
Well, speaking of that, let's get to the next game. It's going to be the Chargers and Rams. Chargers beat the Rams 13-6. Again, Justin Herbert, limited action there. Not much to say, but I mean, this kid is just
protect him.
Just there. I don't think even Justin Herbert even played.
Probably not.
I don't think he played. But again, I do like the Chargers. Their wide receiver core, and they've always had good wide receivers. But the only thing that I don't like about the Chargers, and it continues to haunt them, is their defense. Man, their defense is not good, dude. Not good. I mean, except for their defensive end, which is oh my gosh, Bosa, yeah, Bosa. But I don't know, man. They're secondary suspect. So I don't know, man. Chargers, they could compete. I don't think they do it. A lot of people are actually picking the Chargers to win the AFC West. I don't know. I just don't think they have it. And the Rams, the Rams
most up in the air league.
The Rams are my pick to go to the Super Bowl to face Buffalo. I love the Rams. I love Buffalo. And man, Sean McVay is a genius. I do like the Matt Stafford pickup, man. I think that is going to be key, and I think the Rams are in the Super Bowl.
I always liked Stafford when he played in Detroit. I thought he just had the curse of Detroit. I don't know what happens.
Yeah, I mean they suck. I mean, I just got back from Detroit, and if you would have saw what I saw, no wonder they suck, man. I mean, that freaking city is disgusting. Detroit is disgusting. If you're from Detroit, I'm sorry. Your city is an absolute crap hole. Dude.
It is one of the worst cities I've ever been in, and I've traveled the country. I've been to every state in the 48. And for a major city, Detroit is probably
it's a third world country. Worse. I thought it was in Haiti.
It's sad, actually. It's very sad.
It really is. I mean, if you want to see the effects of just absolute terrible leadership, you go to Detroit and look at it. It was a just crap hole. How is that beautiful lake, St. Clair, in that freaking area? It's just it's insane. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But again, I do like the Rams.
As we're talking about, I liked him in Detroit. He's a capable, competent quarterback, and now you put him in a place with a competent coaching staff and some players around him, and a management team that wants to win. Then the Rams are not not a stretch at all to win their division, and even the NFC. Who else? Well, Tampa. Don't bet against Brady. But do you think the Rodgers is
Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, Matthew Stafford? I mean, the list goes on and on, man. That is and Sean McVay, dude. I'm a huge Sean McVay fan. I think he's just a genius when it comes to
Sean McVay. Sean McVay he's went on the record and said the word love. He loves Matthew Stafford.
Yes, because he can do a lot more than Jared Goff could ever do.
Yeah, Jared Goff will get exposed this year on how mediocre Jared Goff actually is.
Correct.
Jared Goff benefited from being on the Rams. Matthew Stafford is going to improve the Rams.
That's true.
And I think the Rams are dangerous.
I agree, man, wholeheartedly.
I'm with you on that.
Last one, guys, is Carolina and Indianapolis, man. Indianapolis is a dumpster fire right now with the quarterback play. Jake Eason is probably not going to be with the team this year. And then Carson Wentz, they're thinking about, my God, they're thinking about trying to bring in Nick Foles, who looked like absolute garbage in the Chicago game. I don't think they're going to go that route, though. I mean, Nick Foles got up on podium trying to basically tell Frank Reich that I'm your guy. I'm the one who can lead your team, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, man, the Colts, there's another guy by the name of Sam Ehlinger that actually had a pretty good game, man. He was 10 of 15, 155 in an interception. But Sam Ehlinger looked pretty good. But they're also trying to bring in another quarterback, I hear, out on the street. But I won't say who it is. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see how it comes out. But Jacob Eason, 15 of 21, 183 yards, sacked 3 times. So I don't know. Colts did win the game 21-18, but their offensive line is decimated, and I don't know. It's going to be an interesting year for those guys.
Not interesting. I think it's going to be a painful year, and the more this injury situation plays out, it's just going to be more head scratching week after week. Like, wait, I thought you got better. Why are you? What was his? Isn't his injury like a something like a 2 to 12 week?
It was 5 to 12. Yeah, 5 to 12.
I mean, that's crazy. You can't make any plan for what's going to happen.
No.
For the guy that you brought in to be your starter, and playing in a division like that, sorry, it's going to get real bad by October.
Yeah, no kidding, guys. We're gonna end it. We're gonna end it on this thing. I want to ask you guys a question. Did y'all watch that Field of Dreams baseball game? What
Amazing.
an incredible game!
Can we do that every year?
Yeah, they are going to do that every year. I don't think they can have the same drama that they did. What a fantastic game that was! Oh, it was awesome.
Two teams that are most likely going to be in the playoffs as long as the Yankees can keep hitting. That was a preview of a potential AL showdown, and the White Sox and the Yankees, and the home runs and the drama and the field and the way that Iowa embraced that. Oh my God, that I could have watched that over and over and over again.
It touched me. I mean, like, just first of all, the movie's great, I mean, and what it all means, kind of, the dad, tossing with his son, and, just the old baseball kind of thing. But having those players coming out of the cornfield at the very beginning, Kevin Costner's right there, and just waiting for the players as he comes out. Oh my God, it was so tremendous. And then to have it, the Chicago White Sox were up 7-4, Yankees come back, take the lead. I mean, just, what was it? Hendricks gave up a bunch of freaking dingers there, couldn't get out, the Yankees, and then all of a sudden Tim Anderson comes up to the plate, walk-off home run into the corns. It was amazing. And then fireworks going off at the end. I'll tell you what, Fox did a fantastic job producing that game. It was great.
This is one time that I think I got kind of bit in your rear end by streaming TV, and I don't know, like I could put on any other channel and watch it just fine. I put on Fox to try and watch this game. I'd get to see a couple minutes of it, and then it would say something's not quite right. I don't believe it was any of my internet connection issues. I think it was the number of people watching this, and I think I've heard some things about how many people watched it. But the little bit that I did get to see, just beautiful. You could almost call it looking like a minor league park with the very small seating area. But I think that's what made it so good, is the closeness, the intimacy of it. That you don't have to be bigger to be better. That something that was smaller was just absolutely perfect. Probably better than the NHL Stadium Series games.
It was such a hit that the Major League Baseball ratings came out the next day. It was the most watched Major League Baseball game, regular season game, in 16 years. 6.8 million people watched that game. It was that special.
6.8 doesn't sound like a lot compared if you think 25.
That's a big number for a Major League Baseball, regular season baseball
great
game.
For baseball.
Dyersburg, Iowa put on a show, and the Field of Dreams and the NFL broadcast, even, Joe Buck, everybody gives him flack and everything, but he let the story tell itself and gave the background when it needed to be done. And that was very fun to watch, and it had my attention from start to finish. But we just came off the Colts, and they got breaking news out of Colts camp. Ryan Kelly is expected to be back at practice tomorrow. Huge for their offensive line.
That's huge.
And Frank Wright just came out and said, quote, "We are at the 2-week window for Carson Wentz's return. You can see him come back in the next 2 weeks."
No kidding.
That is per Jeff Kerr of the CBS NFL network. So
So he'll be ready for week 1 on the NFL season
for opening day.
Yep. So that means the Colts will have to go. They're going to go 0-3.
Well, and if it's 2-week window to come back to practice, then you might see him still miss a week or two of the season. So, that's big for Colts fans.
That's big. Yeah. But I mean, again, with all that being said, I mean, they paid a lot of money for Carson Wentz. I will tell you, Quentin Nelson's out, and Quentin Nelson's hurt, man. He's out. So that's their big guard, man. He's an all-star guy. I don't know if he'll be ready for the regular season. If he is, and miraculously gets to be healed for the regular season, they're going to do pretty well. But if not, that's a big loss.
Hey, back to the Field of Dreams game. Just 1 second. If there was one thing that Fox could have done to make that game better, the graphic down in the bottom that says Yankees and White Sox, it's 3-2 in the top of the sixth, whatever. Take that off the screen. Let the game, let the atmosphere.
The old school scoreboard out there.
Yeah, the old seen it, but you did where you didn't have to constantly know what was going on. You let the announcers tell you that it was 3-2 with 2 outs in the bottom of the sixth. It just to make it to take that last little bit of modern day times out of it, and let's really to feel the old school baseball again.
And did you see the people that were actually changing the scoreboard what they were wearing, the old outfits and
old outfits, man? It was perfect.
And the grounds crew did too.
It was great. Perfect. It was absolutely perfect, man. It was so well done. And I'm it just brought back so many great memories. As a kid, you're just sitting there going, man, there's nothing like being on the dirt, man. I love it.
Oh yeah. And just 10 years old, all I want to do is throw a baseball around all day long, all day, every day.
Yeah, it was cool. Well, guys, we're gonna get out of here, man. That's it for it. Great discussions, guys. I appreciate you guys coming on tonight. Todd, thanks for coming on, man. Let's do this more often, my friend.
I appreciate it.
That was a blast.
Whenever I can, I love being live with you guys, whether it be here or other places. So whenever I can, I will, and hope to be back in Ohio this weekend and take 2 weeks off. I'm going to La Crosse, Wisconsin to go fishing. So.
Well, there you go, man. Go hit that dispensary, man. Have some fun. See you later.
No,
man.
Not me. Don't do that. No, that's not my thing.
I got you, man. No, you don't want to do that, buddy. All right, buddy. All right, guys. Have a great night. That's it. Take care.
See you guys.
Bye.